Hello everyone. Now you will hear a short retelling of the film Give a Sign. Enjoy watching. Manicure master Frieda accidentally caught the eye of a video in which billionaire Slater King apologizes for his inappropriate behavior. He bought an island where he tries to lead a simple and righteous life. Today, Slater King is hosting a charity banquet. Together with her friend Jess, they will work as waitresses at this event. A year ago, the girl even managed to talk to the billionaire. Frieda is obsessed with Slater. She and her friend decided on an adventure and changed into evening dresses, impersonated the guests. However, Frieda does not walk very well in heels. The girl headed in the direction of Slater and fell, at the same time filling up the waiter. But she managed to attract the attention of the billionaire, who helped the clumsy guests to get up. Slater was distracted by his therapist, Dr. Stein.
Give a sign if he's dangerous.
Oh my God. Or maybe not. The businessman decided to introduce his friends to his friends. Many of them are also celebrities and rich. Frieda had a great time in a noisy company, and Slater did not take his eyes off her. But then the assistant reminded the businessman that it was time for him to go to the island. The couple didn't want to part so much, so Slater suddenly suggested Frieda and Jess go to the island with him. The whole company flew by plane. They will rest in a luxury villa. Stacy's assistant took all the guests' phones. Slater personally escorted Frieda to her room. On the sink, the girl found the perfume of Desideria and immediately perfumed them. There was an old lip gloss in the drawer, and Frieda threw it in the trash. An old woman came into the room and for some reason called Frieda a red rabbit. The same outfits of the right size were prepared for all the girls.
Do you think human sacrifice before or after dinner?
Jess's lighter is constantly being taken from her, and the slider does not let go of the electronic cigarette. Sarah climbed a palm tree. She participated in a reality show about survival on the island. Although the girl came here with Cody, she is constantly hitting on the billionaire. But Frieda caught his attention again, almost choking on a berry. Those spirits were created from the flowers of Desiderium, which grow only on this island. A strange woman works on the island of Zmilov. Ciliated viper. I'm sorry to kill them, but they cause problems. Stacy ran past. She dropped a pack of red gift bags. Evening dresses for all ladies for some reason also turned out to be the same. Cody is a famous chef. He has prepared a delicious dish for the guests. However, Fat Tom eats only eggs for dinner to lose weight, and Slater does not eat red meat. Awkward Frieda spilled red wine on her dress. When Vic took the floor, everyone noticed that he didn't have a little finger on his hand. The dinner ended with the intake of all sorts of prohibited substances. While the lost rich and their guests are lying on the lawn, the security guard Stan looks after them. When Frieda lay down in bed, she noticed that the stain on her dress had somehow disappeared. She is haunted by an old woman collecting snakes. Every next day is similar to the previous one. During the day, the company chills by the pool or in the steam room, and in the evening, under the influence of prohibited substances, goes crazy. They constantly drink, eat delicious food, and do not think about real life. How much time has passed is unknown. Every day Frieda is smothered with deodorant. Once Slater asked where the girl got the scar on her temple, but for some reason she doesn't know. They like each other. Frieda probably wouldn't mind if Slater kissed her, but suddenly the man said that it was time for him to go to bed. He had a session with the therapist tomorrow. Frieda still has Slater's vape. In the morning, she noticed that there was dirt under her nails from somewhere. Frieda came to Slater to return the vape to him. Immediately, Dr. Stein entered the room.
I remember you. From the party?
For some reason, the therapist tensed up when Frieda said she remembered him. They returned his phone to him and put some kind of gift in one of those red bags. Jess barely found her lighter, and Cody lost his special Japanese knife somewhere and can't find it. Frieda spends time with Slater all the time.
What day is it today?
I don't know.
When to go home?
Whenever you want. Jess is slowly developing paranoia. In the evening, someone stole her lighter again. It's time to sign it already. That night everything was as usual. Everyone was drinking and dancing. But suddenly there was a scream. Jess was bitten by a snake. Slicer killed the viper, and Vic took a picture of it. He takes Polaroid photos of everything. Jess immediately wanted to go home. She was scared to be here, there's something wrong with this place. For everyone, the fun continued, and Jess's nose bled. Frieda's next day started as usual, but then she saw a red bag on the ground and went into the bungalow. There were dozens of such packages on the shelves. Granny was in another room.
What's your name?
Red Rabbit.
That's right, the Red Rabbit.
The employee offered Frieda to drink green liquid from a bottle. Only later did the girl realize that it was disgusting, the poison of a dead viper. Frieda got scared and ran out into the street. Cody caught the chickens that escaped from the cage today. And in the evening, all the women were running away somewhere, but then they suddenly stopped and wondered why they were running at all. Frieda had a dream about a friend who suggested that she hide a knife. There is dirt under the nails again, and all the ladies look tired and disheveled. Lucas has a black eye, and Sarah has a black eye on her arm. The men went fishing today. The women stayed to relax by the pool. Suddenly, after a whole day, Frieda remembered about Jess.
Who's Jess?
Are you okay?
Is she okay? You don't look well. What's wrong? Are you kidding me?
No one remembers any Jess, and her room is now a storage room. Frieda panicked. She hit the mirror behind which Cody's knife was hidden. Sarah came over to her. She almost believed that there was a certain Jess here. The woman managed to sign her lighter. Sarah seems to like it here, but it doesn't seem to be very much. Where did these bruises and dirt under the nails come from? In vain, they climbed into the plane with a bunch of unfamiliar men. Sarah only met Cody on the eve of the banquet, and the other girls also don't know anyone. They're trying to control us, they're trying to make us look crazy. And it turns out. Somehow they managed to make women forget about everything, but how exactly? There were perfume bottles in all the gift bags. What did they do with them before they erased their memory? Do you remember your friend?
Yes.
But I don't remember her. How so? It's probably the snake venom that brings back memories. Sarah immediately took a sip from the bottle. Now we need to somehow get Heather and Camille to drink this stuff. In recent days, they got used to drinking everything in a row, so they poured this green liquid into themselves without hesitation. Assistant Stacy also did not refuse the offer of a drink. The guys will be back from fishing soon, but in the meantime, Frieda will try to get a phone. She saw where Stacy was hiding them. Suddenly Sarah's nose started to bleed. Her memory began to return, and memories plunged her into shock. When Cody wanted to scare her, she broke into the man with all her strength with her elbow. Frieda was able to knock down the lock and open the closet, but unfortunately, the net on the island still does not catch. Suddenly, Sarah screamed at the top of her voice, letting Frieda know that Slater was coming to her. Among the things, she found a bunch of photos. They were young girls and old men with red bags. Frieda kept a couple of photos. The girl managed to hide under the table and remained unnoticed. She also had a nosebleed. Frieda remembered how she, along with the other girls, was tied up and thrown on the floor. And her friend Jessie Slater twisted her neck for the fact that after the snake bite, she no longer forgot. Frieda had to go back to the company and pretend that nothing had happened, just like Sarah does. They are both barely holding back tears. After some time, the memory should return to Heather and Camille. In the meantime, the girls are forced to continue pretending that nothing has changed. During dinner, Frieda remembered another evening. Each man chose a victim for himself and did with her whatever he wanted. Only the boy Lucas refused to participate in this, for which he got in the eye. Dr. Stein liked Frieda herself. No injuries. We will put her in order, and she will have fun like no one else. For these freaks, not just pieces of meat. By the way, Lucas also has his memory erased every night. It's hard for Sarah to play her role. Frieda flinched when the killer took her hand. He and Sarah said they wanted to dance. They were able to steal a couple of things for self-defense. For example, Sarah took a corkscrew and hid it in a flower bed. The whole company descended into the dance. Camilla went to the bar to pour herself a drink, and at that moment remembered everything. She was very angry. Next to her was an ice pick, which Camilla used to stick the chubby Tom, because it was he who bullied her every night. Sarah finally got revenge on Cody and stabbed his hand with a corkscrew. But Heather chased the photographer Vic. They often played chess during the day, so it was with a chess board that she cracked the scoundrel's skull. But then she was shot by a guard, a former Marine Stan. Then he chased Frieda. The girl tried to hide in the woods, but a professional found her right away. He was going to execute Frieda, but Sarah came up from behind with a huge stone. And this stone turned out to be much stronger than Stan's head. Although Vic did not die, he remained paralyzed. And only Lucas doesn't understand what's going on here. Camilla was lying tied up on the floor. Slater killed her by crushing the girl's throat. He ordered Cody to deal with the others. Stacy's assistant also bled from the nose, but everything suits her. The woman attacked Frieda, but she stabbed her with a chef's knife. At the same time, Sarah shot Cody. Lucas is worried that he also did something bad. What have I done? Nothing. Lucas didn't do anything at all. He didn't even try to help the girls. According to Slater, there is a separate cauldron in hell for such people. Frieda saw herself in one of the photos with long hair and a red rabbit on her nails. She's been here before. The girl started knocking on Slater's house, allegedly she needed help. Lucas decided that he would finally help and ran to the door, but he was immediately shot by Sarah. But Frieda Slater dragged into the house. She beat him with a statuette, but the scoundrel knocked her out, hitting her head on the floor. That lip gloss from the drawer was hers. Scar on the temple. She got hit by a rock here. A year ago, they had already done all sorts of wild things with her, but then she forgot everything. By the way, Frieda bit off Vika's little finger. The girl groped for the fragment and began to cut the rope with which Slater had tied her. The man admitted that he thought about oblivion when he compared himself and his sister. She still visits psychotherapists because she remembers what their relative did to them as a child. But he doesn't remember anything and calmly communicates with him. People are liberated when they forget the bad. Sarah spent all the bullets. Slater realized this and left the vape on the table, ran after her. He caught up with Sarah, tied her up and threw her on the floor. Frieda freed herself and grabbed the knife, but Slater easily took it away. The sick pervert took a drag and was about to cut Sarah's throat, but suddenly stopped. The man can't understand what's going on here. Why are there wounded and dead people around? Slater accidentally turned over the candles and a fire started in the house. Frieda did it. She filled the vape with desiderium perfume, and the Slider instantly forgot about everything that happened today. The Major tripped over the corpse and hit his head on the table, lost consciousness. The house burned down. Frieda saved her new friend Sarah, and at the same time, and Slider, she has some plans for him. After a while, Slater again arranged a banquet, only he became somehow timid and lost. Frieda is now constantly erasing his memory, forcing him to be submissive and eat red meat. And she married Slater to herself and forced her to make her the CEO of her company.